Shocking details have been revealed about the Toronto Raptors drafting Jonathan Mogbo, beyond the fact he's tight friends with Scottie Barnes, and beyond the fact he is an awesome prospect for the Toronto Raptors, especially in regards to upside for the future. Some Raptors fans were questioning why we didn't go with the more popular prospect in Kyle Filipowski, but the details have come out on that situation, so we'll discuss those and the high upside of the player we got with that highly coveted number 31 overall selection. So we're going to dive into all of that in this video. And folks, we've had a ton of new viewers drop into the channel, diving into the latest Toronto Raptors news leading into the draft and free agency. So if you're a part of the 51% of viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, make sure you guys hit that sub button so you stay up to date with all of the latest Toronto Raptors news. We have a lot of videos coming over the coming days, but let's dive into what's been going on, because again, if you haven't been following the Toronto Raptors today, we made a selection of Jonathan Mogbo with the 31st overall pick, and there was a lot of interest in trades being made with that selection, but the Raptors decided to go in the direction of bringing in Mogbo. And before we dive into the details why they passed on Filipowski, we can take a look at who Jonathan Mogbo is as a prospect. He's a 6'6", 225 pound forward for the Toronto Raptors, and he has insane upside in terms of athleticism. Some people were calling him a reach with that selection. I think that was more so because guys like Filipowski and Kolek were still on the board, but he was still projected to go around that 34 range. So, I mean, 3 picks up in terms of what the mocks were saying. It wasn't that crazy of the reach, which some narratives people are running with. But basically, Mogbo, again, he's a young, not crazy young, but a guy that picked up basketball late, so he's still maturing and developing in terms of his basketball career. He's 22 years old, fits that Scottie Barnes timeline. He's a power forward, and his height's been listed between 6'6" and 6'8", depending on who you're reading, depending if they're measuring him with shoes or not, but this is the combine sort of update here. But Mogbo has all the intangibles, the physical assets to be a dominant forward in the NBA, and he's got some good statistics out there as well, right? He has a 38-inch max vertical for, strong man, a big dude. That is a high max vert. He has a 7'2" wingspan, which is very encouraging, especially, if he is 6'6". That's some long arms there at this point. And in his last season in college, averaged 14 points per game, 10 rebounds, 3.6 assists. His passing at the forward position is something a lot of people have excited. I mean, I already made a video on him with people comparing him to the next Scottie Barnes, beyond the relationship he has with Scottie, right? They're similar play styles in that sense, passing forward. Mogbo has less of a jump shot in that sense, but Scottie didn't have much of a jump shot coming to the league either, but he also averaged a block a game essentially and 1.6 steals. He's mobile, he's big, he's just a really nice prospect, and he's been developing like crazy over the past few years. I mean, Scottie Barnes is also there during that draft reaction in terms of what went on, so he has a tight relationship with the Toronto Raptors' newest max player, max guy, but over the course of his sort of collegiate career, he's just had an awesome story. Just grew a ton, played for a bunch of different junior colleges, and then last year really took that leap in terms of becoming an NBA ready prospect, and came into the zone. His stats continuously go up and up over the course of college season. So even though he's not a crazy young, in terms of age, he's young in terms of basketball sense, in terms of development, and has a lot of room to go, and has a great feel for the game, has great mobility, great size, and great hustle. So I am in love with this pick at the number 31 overall selection. But Ben, what are the shocking details, the shocking truth, beyond the fact, this is a little exciting, but I wouldn't call it shocking, that he has a relationship with Scottie Barnes, a close friendship, as we saw, right? Scottie was there excited in the draft night, panned over to him in the video where he ended up getting selected. But basically, what are the details about why he was selected rather than a guy like Filipowski? Well, details have come out on that front, and this is genuinely confused the heck out of me. But basically, NBA teams are talking about the fact that they had question marks about the girlfriend of Kyle Filipowski being so much older than him, and why Filipowski was estranged from his family because of this whole situation. Apparently, he doesn't talk to his parents or his brother, and it's a very odd situation. So again, there was a lot of backfire. I don't think it was because of Mogbo himself, the prospect, being a bad selection and stuff, but the fact that there's bigger names that fell to the Toronto Raptors. We had a whole day to get excited about some of these big names. Some Raptors fans are disappointed that we didn't go the route of a 7-footer Filipowski, and we got some other guys that we'll talk about the center position for the Raptors, but that's beyond this video. Basically, some Raptors fans are fired up, and the shocking truth, the shocking details is this man's got some personal stuff going on. Leading up to the draft, there was some chatter that the interview stages didn't go that well for him as a prospect in terms of him being a good fit for not just the Raptors, just teams across the league, and that's why he was sliding down the draft boards. But, just an older girlfriend, estranged from his family, those types of things. There was also concerns about his injury situation as well. Part of the reason Filipowski came back to Duke last year was an anticipated surgery on both of his hips to shave them down to allow him to be more flexible and bendy. So he had hip surgery, so the injuries were also a concern there. But really the shocking details is this whole family dynamic, family situation with I don't know. I saw that and I was in awe. I was driving home and read that tweet when we saw that we drafted Mogbo. But when I saw that, the off the court stuff, again, if he was the best prospect, that stuff probably should get ignored, but you can't take the human out of the basketball side of things. So there's going to be outside drama and stuff. I could see why that might be a red flag for certain teams, especially, again, we don't have the specific details. Reports also came out that there wasn't much said about Filipowski's character. It wasn't he was just some absolute nutcase and things that were going on. There were memes being made about him going down to Utah, which I think are just bananas. But basically, that's the shocking details as to why Filipowski was available in the Raptors select him, and one of the reasons why the Raptors probably weren't super eager to select him with the number 31 overall pick. They went the direction Mogbo. I am very, very happy with the selection. I believe he is a guy that, again, he's on a great upward trajectory in terms of his basketball skills, ability. The intangibles are there in terms of size, athleticism, strength, hard work, hustle, effort. He has high basketball IQ in terms of his ability to facilitate at that forward position. The jump shot will be key, will be essential for his development to really come into his own as a basketball player. Being that sort of guy, we want to be able to run at the forward spot. I know all these types of forwards always get compared to Draymond Green, but this feels like a guy with a very similar frame. More of a natural Draymond Green comparison than Scottie Barnes was, obviously, when he was the 4th overall pick a couple years ago. So, again, I think this is a really, really nice selection at 31 overall, especially in a draft where people are saying, hey, you never know what you're going to get with the guys in this specific draft. So taking a player with high upside that has a relationship with your top guy that looks like he's had that develop. I mean, the last time we took a draft selection like this, a more raw-ish prospect, but I think that honestly Mogbo's a little bit less raw than Siakam was coming into things, but similar jump shooting wise, I would say that, right? A raw sort of power forward prospect, again, became an all-NBA player, became a guy that won an NBA championship. I'm not saying Mogbo, the expectation should be Pascal Siakam, Draymond Green, all NBA caliber guys, but it is a nice risk worth taking. Other people are comparing him to Precious Achiuwa, and frankly, if we got a Precious Achiuwa with the number 31 overall pick in a draft that everyone was trashing on for the past year or so, that would still be a W in my eyes for the Toronto Raptors group, and might keep some headaches out the locker room. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that insane Filipowski story. Let me know what you guys think about this selection for the Toronto Raptors in the comment section down below. Again, as I mentioned, if you're part of that 51% that haven't subscribed just yet, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Anyways, I've sided out. Cheers.